Alright, big news for Final Fantasy XIV. So it has been confirmed on the Twitter account that the Moogle Treasure Trove event is coming back once again. From Monday, April 24th, complete specific duties and collect irregular tomestones of mendacity for a variety of rewards. On the image here it says, from Monday, April 24th, 2023, 1 a.m. PDT until the launch of patch 6.4. So, if you've been following Final Fantasy XIV for a while, then you would probably know that anytime this Moogle Treasure Trove event returns, that means the next patch is not far away, because these events always occur about 1 month before the next patch. So if this event begins April 24th, then it's likely to assume that patch 6.4 should release on May 24th or 25th or 26th. Not exactly always a month, and you have to account for 1 day of inactivity to actually update the patch to make it go live. So I would expect patch 6.5 to occur probably May 25th or May 26th, one of those days. Or if not that exactly, then around that ballpark. And so now let's take a look at the rewards of what you can get and see what exactly are you supposed to run in order to get these tomes. So here we have images of 3 new items. Well, they're not new, but they are rewards you can get. That's a little Porksy earring. The Porksies are a big thing in Shadowbringers. You'll know why if you've played it. This is called the Megalotragus. It's a giant goat, and this appears, I believe this is a new hairstyle. It's on a Lalafell right now, but it appears to be a hairstyle, I think. So we have challenge the objectives, collect the tomes, and exchange them at the itinerant Moogles. The Moogles appear in every major city, and they're noted by a little Moogle icon in the minimap section. So if you look on the duty menu, it says anytime that there is a duty that has a little Moogle icon next to it, that means that duty will give you Moogle tomes. Notice how underneath there it says Eden's Gate Resurrection. There's nothing. That means you won't get anything for running that. If you want to get Moogle tomes, you have to run the content that is labeled with the Moogle icon. So, for 7 tomes, you can run the Tower at Paradigm's Breach or the Praetorium. Myself and probably most people will want to just run the Praetorium over and over again because it's actually much shorter now. Endwalker made the Praetorium a 4-man duty instead of 8-man, and it's a much shorter instance now. It doesn't take 45 minutes like it used to. Now it takes probably 20 minutes at most. So the most amount of tomes you can earn is 7 from the Praetorium, or Tower at Paradigm's Breach, which is a Shadowbringers raid, part of the Nier series. You can then get 6 tomes from running the Puppet's Bunker. Puppet's Bunker is the tier of raid before Paradigm's Breach, so this one comes before that one. And again, it's part of the Nier series and Shadowbringers. And then you can get 5 from running the Copied Factory, which is the raid that comes before this one. So all 3 raids are in Shadowbringers, and it's the Nier series. Then you can get 3 or 5 for playing PvP. If you win, you get 5. If you lose, you get 3. And depending on how good or bad your team is in PvP, these matches can end very quickly, or they can last for a really long time. Kind of just dependent on how active you are in playing and if your team is good or bad. I would actually probably like to do PvP, because there's also PvP series rewards you can earn alongside the Moogle tomes, which is not a bad idea if you wanted to work on two birds with one stone. You can earn series rewards for PvP and Moogle tomes to trade for the rewards at the same time. And to do this, you can run the Hidden Gorge, Ansel Hakare, I still don't know how to pronounce that word, the Fields of Glory, Steel Rock, and the Borderland Ruins. PvP is also very easy, it's very accessible. The only requirement to do PvP is just be level 30. Your gear doesn't matter, your weapon doesn't matter, your armor doesn't matter, your stats don't matter. Nothing about your character actually matters in PvP. You just need to be at least level 30. Not even your skills matter. In PvP, your skills and your abilities and spells are all reset for PvP abilities. So it's completely doable on a fresh character. So don't feel like you have to rush to gear yourself out to be successful in PvP, because you don't. All the PvP armor that you can earn is just purely transmog. The stats don't really matter. You can also earn 4 tomestones from completing Hullbreaker Isle, Tomtara Deepcroft Hard Mode, and Castor Meridiano. I'm probably not going to do these because they take a long time and you only get 4. I would much rather do PvP or just run the Praetorium instead. And then you can get 3 tomes from completing the Porta de Cumana, which is a trial. That's part of the thing that they changed with Endwalker. The Praetorium used to include this boss fight, but it does not any longer. Zemael, still don't know how to pronounce that word. Zemael Darkhold, Cutter's Cry, and the Sunken Temple of Karn. Definitely not going to be doing any of these, except maybe the trial, because these 3 dungeons I actually hate. I hate these dungeons. They're not fun to do. Anytime these dungeons come up in my duty roulette, I'm like, why? They're not fun. Also, there's 2 tombstones from Alexander, so it looks like, wow, all of the Alexander. Okay, so seems all of the Alexander raids give you, or if not all, most of the Alexander raids give you tomes, as well as Cloud Deck, Castor Marinum, and Cinder Drift. These are Shadowbringers raids. Now we get to the fun stuff. We get to the actual rewards. So like I said, the Moogle can be spoken to in all 3 of the major cities. This is the location for Limsa Lominsa, New Gridani, and then Ul'dah. So here is the fun part. We have the rewards. This is the meat, the juice of this update. We have the Porksy earrings for 100 tomes. Every event always has one kind of keystone reward that is the most expensive. This is the Porksy earrings for 100. The next is the Magitech Predator Identification Key. These are mounts, so these next 3 are mounts. The Magitech Predator Identification Key is actually extremely rare. It's, in my knowledge, the only mount in the entire game that drops from a dungeon. This is in order to avoid spoilers, because I'm not really a huge fan of talking about the story of Final Fantasy XIV, because there are some people that are extremely sensitive to that and do not want to be spoiled. So I will not explain the context of what you're doing here, but just know that in order to earn the Magitech Identification Key in-game without buying it is to run a particular dungeon towards the end of Stormblood. So this item drops within Stormblood. You can see the mount right there is the Magitech Predator, and it's very, very rare. I've run this dungeon maybe 20 to 25 times and only seen it drop twice. Luckily, I actually got it one of those times, but it's pretty rare. So I won't explain what the dungeon is, I'll just say it drops from a dungeon in Stormblood. The Ixion Clarion, this is actually a big one, because it gives you the mount Ixion. Ixion is a world boss that is only fightable at certain times of the day because it's a fate, and it's essentially a giant lightning horse with like a unicorn horn. To have a proper image of it, this is what it looks like. This is what the Ixion mount looks like. It's a really, really cool mount, but it's very difficult to get if you don't get to play the game at the proper times, or you fail to gather enough party members or friends to actually fight the boss when it is live. So I'm super glad they're giving a fate reward as a boss, because that means I don't actually have to farm it. I can just get it this way. And then lastly, the Megalotragus is this big goat thing. That's the Megalotragus. And then moving downward, we have Modern Aesthetics, Garabanian Plate, that would be the hairstyle. Ballroom Etiquette, that's an emote. We have Maps, Earring. They give this reward maybe the last time and the second to last time as well. And next we have more mounts, but these are usually older mounts that are much easier to get nowadays. So the Laurel Gubu, I can tell you that comes from the Sylph Beast tribe in Gridania. The Elbst, I think this comes from the Sahagin Beast tribe. I don't have it because I just think it's really ugly. I don't really care to have it. Itheon, this is the Fire Horse. This drops from Ifrit. The extreme difficulty of all the trials give mounts. They're not guaranteed to drop, but they do give them, and you can get them if you farm for them. All of the Arome Reborn trials can be farmed solo, unsynced, and you can still get the loot. But Itheon drops from Ifrit. Nightmare drops from all of the bosses, but it's a very low drop chance. The White Lantern, this actually comes from Heaven's Ward. I believe the White Lantern drops from King Thornton. Now, King Thornton, I don't think King Thornton can be killed solo because of the boss mechanics required to fight him. You're kind of mandatory. You kind of need to have at least 2 or 3 people because of how the fight works. But it's an easy fight. It's just kind of long because you have to fight all the knights of the round every time. There's a long cutscene, and yeah, the mechanics kind of require at least 2 to 3 individuals to play. So while King Thornton cannot be soloed, he is very easy. And the Demonic Lantern, I believe the Demonic Lantern drops from Zervin. Oh, it says right there, it comes from Zervin, the Mericidian god. This boss probably could be soloed. Not difficult, really. As long as you're pretty much at least level 80 or 90, he shouldn't be a problem. The Reveling Kamui, this comes from Susanoo. This is Stormblood. This definitely cannot be soloed because of the boss mechanics of deflecting his sword strikes. You definitely need at least 2 people for this. But yeah, this drops from Susanoo, which is a Stormblood boss. And then the Blissful Kamui comes from Lakshmi, another Stormblood boss. This one may or may not be able to be soloed, but either way, it doesn't matter. You can farm for them all here. And to acquire all of these mounts, from Laurel Gubu down to the Kamui, they all take 30 tomes. Then we have the Platinum MGP card, which gives you 50,000 MGP for only 30 tomes. That's a pretty good deal. You don't have to do much work to get that. And you could save up your MGP cards to buy some of the Gold Saucer mounts that are extremely expensive. Then we have down here some housing items. I don't really care for this stuff because I don't have a house myself. I have an FC, or I am in an FC, and we have an FC house, but I don't really decorate it or anything. It's just a place to go to when I want to hang out. Then we have some glamour, the Bone Wicca set. We have writing maps, which are pretty useless nowadays. We have triple triad cards and some minions, Wind Up Succubus and the Black Hayate. These are minions, very cheap, as well as, whatever that word says, and Peace of Mind. These are equestrian rolls, so this is music that you can play in your inn or in your house. And then Magic Prism Job Mastery, I actually don't even know what this is. I think it's like an emote. But yeah, here you have it. The Moogle Treasure Trove event for Final Fantasy XIV, launching April 24th at 1 a.m. PDT, until the launch of patch 6.4, which, based on previous trends, it should last for about a month, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less, but expect this event to be live for roughly around 30 days. So that's really all I have to say for right now. If you like what I'm doing, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. All of my links are in the description.